All right, so moving on to TCL R617. Now, the settings will be a bit different because this is a different panel, okay? And the major difference you will see between this panel and Q8FN, it's going to be obviously the peak brightness. The peak brightness, it's much, much higher on Q8FN, which is around 1500 nits. This is only 840 nits. So that's about 600 something extra nits that's being implemented into the Q8FN. Now, having said that, just because this TV doesn't have the highest peak brightness, doesn't mean that you're not going to experience HDR. You're still going to experience HDR, but it's not going to be to the level of excellency that the HDR can truly present to you. All right? So, first thing first, TV brightness. I'm using the brighter TV brightness because I want to squeeze as much of that peak nits of brightness that this TV can offer. 840 plus nits, roughly 850, let's say. Maybe I can squeeze in some scenes, maybe 850 nits. And I think that's the maximum. I don't have the Calman to measure this, but everyone who had measured it says it's around 840, maybe 850, but maximum 850. So ballpark of 840 nits. So we have TV brightness at brighter, picture mode HDR set to bright. So TV brightness brighter, HDR mode bright. I'm also using a game mode, which is right over here, because I want to have the best possible low latency on my controller. This is the Xbox One X version. Remember, backlit contrast will always be set to maximum. When you are using an HDR, the backlit and contrast has to be set to maximum because this is the only way you can activate that peak brightness of nits. Brightness at 50, always. You never move the brightness below 50 or up. You leave it at 50 when it comes to HDR. Sharpness at 20, I feel that this game that's running in 4K, you already have a good detail. There's no really reason for you to go anything above 20. Leave it at 20, you know. Color, I kept it at 50. But you know what? Since we don't have like the greatest color accuracy here, I would say 55. Keep it at 55. Color temperature. You guys know how I feel about the color temperature. I don't like to use warm color unless I'm watching a movie. And I don't like to use cold blue color, tone of color. That's only if you are like in a very bright storage place, or I don't know, like a very bright, maybe I shouldn't use the word storage place, but let's say 1,800 square feet storage space that's lit up with neon lights, white bright neon lights, and it's a very bright room, then I guess you can use that cold blue tone of color. But if you want to achieve that balanced color tone, then I tell you normal is the best way to go. This is your best bet. Normal color for the gaming is your best bet. Last but not least, obviously, local dimming has to be set to high, okay? If you want to utilize that 96 local dimming zones that this TV has, then you will need that local contrast set to high. People say, why do they call it a local contrast? Because that's what they are. They're the contrast zones. They're basically controlling that bleed of light that's emitting from the backlit, therefore giving you much better contrast, meaning the contrast between your deep dark levels and your white bright levels. So these are the settings that I'm using, and let's see how well it looks, how well it plays. Let's see. Looks very impressive. The HDR settings are pretty much the same as I showed it to you guys on my previous video. The HDR slider, the lumens light, you can bring it up to 1000, and then the deep dark levels, you can move them down to 160. For the reference of that, you guys can check my previous video. I moved my exposure light down a bit just so I can kind of explain to you what I'm seeing in terms of HDR here. Also remember one thing as well. I'm not doing these videos to show you, hey, there's the HDR, look at it. There's no way in hell that I can show you the HDR. You guys can't see the HDR through a video or through a camera. HDR is something you have to see in person. I'm doing these videos to walk you through, to tell you, as somebody who's commentating, almost like a documentary, I'm telling you and analyzing what I'm seeing. So I'm doing these videos to analyze and tell you what I'm seeing. I'm only using this as a credibility that I have the game and I have the TV. Now, if you don't believe me, that's a different story. Then don't like, don't watch. That simple. Well, the one impressive thing about this TV is its price. For $600, what this TV it's bringing us for that price is truly remarkable. That we have a very good 96 local dimmings of full array of local dimming. That's 96 local dimming zones. And on top of that, we're also getting a very good DCI-P3 color accuracy due to the fact that this TV has NBP photon technology. These photon cells are similar to quantum dot cells. Okay, what they do is they enhance the color spectrum, creating much wider color gamut, meaning you get much better ratio of colors here. Therefore, your TV will look much better in color. And then when you add the 840 nits of peak of brightness, that adds to it as well. But for $600, what this TV is giving you, it's pretty remarkable for that price. Also, let's not forget the low input lag. It's something that needs to be mentioned as well. This television really does output a really good low input lag here. And I would say probably it's about the same. I would say 19 milliseconds, man. I think it's a 19 millisecond low input lag here. And that's pretty darn good, man. Especially for a budget TV. And this is why I keep recommending this TV to a lot of people. Because of the price and the fact that you're not going to find a television with this kind of price that has all these features. Did I forget to mention it has Dolby Vision? With all the stuff that's included, you know, NBP photon technology that creates the better color accuracy, 840 nits of peak brightness, 96 local dimming zones. All of these elements will help that Dolby Vision look the better. Oh, can I? There we go, I finished him. So far, like I said, it looks good on TCL R617. Looks very impressive for a budget TV. You know, I'm still having a hard time just accepting the fact that this TV is $600. I think they drop it down to $550. And this is really a great companionship for the Xbox One X or PlayStation 4 Pro this holiday season. If you don't want to break the bank and you want to get something for $1,000, you can get this combo. You can get this television, 55-inch R617 for $600, and then you can get a console for $400 if it's a PlayStation 4 Pro, or the Xbox One X for $500. So for $1,100 you can have this television and the Xbox One X, and that's a pretty good deal to have that combo. The reason I recommend Xbox One X, because with the Xbox One X you're gonna get the built-in 4K player, so you can watch your, oh, sorry about that guys, I didn't see this coming. You're gonna get graphic warning. You're gonna get the Xbox One X gaming 4K HDR gaming machine with 4K player built into it. So you're already getting, for $1,100, you're getting a really great combo deal. Now, if you want to have that best of the best creme de la creme companionship for the Xbox One X, then Q8FN, it's that best choice. You know, wow, the HDR here really looks great now. As I had previously mentioned, this game, Ubisoft, uses a very good implementation of HDR. I think Ubisoft has definitely proven itself that they are the master when it comes to the HDR. They have proven this with the Assassin's Creed's Origins, this one, the Crew 2, not the Crew 2, I'm sorry, it was one of that Tom Clancy games. I forgot the name of that Tom Clancy game. Not The Division, there was another one, Outlands or something like that. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the game. But Ubisoft has proven itself that they have mastered the HDR and 4K in some respect, especially with the games like Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 is not a great example. So Ubisoft is definitely on top of their game when it comes to HDR. All right. And of course, Turn 10 Studio with Microsoft, Forza Horizon 4, they really nailed it. They really got the HDR implementation really good. Well, I'm not going to tell you which one I chose. Normal, easy, or good, or hard, or very hard. You guys will have to figure that one out. So, like I said, TCL R617, as I kept repeating, if I didn't have any of these televisions, if I was somebody who just had 1080p television and I was looking to upgrade to a 4K and I didn't want to break the bank, I'm telling you guys, this would be my choice. TCL R617 would be my choice, along with the Xbox One X for $1,100 this Black Friday, this holiday season. This is really the best combo pick that you can get. Alright, so we're entering Cassandra here. We're going back in time. This is in Greece, obviously. Now, me saying entering Cassandra, I meant it in a different way, not in the way that you guys are thinking of. So, please, don't bother with your comments down below with that stuff. Look, this is a great HDR. This is a excellent implementation of HDR, and this is what HDR should be, obviously. However, just because the game has bad implementation of HDR, that's not to say that it's a fake HDR. It just means that it doesn't have those ingredients as necessary to be the best HDR, but it's still being processed as HDR. You know, that would be like me calling this bottle of water, just because it tastes differently and has a different brand on it, calling it a fake water. It's still a water. You know, it doesn't matter if it tastes differently, it's still a water. I mean, this looks great for a TCL R617. Very impressive, man. Very impressive for TCL R617. Oh, how dare you. Like I said, very impressive. Very impressive.
The Cyclops said you like to act tough, so act tough!
Get a little closer, and I will.
You should know by now. The Cyclops always collects his debts. You have a lesson to learn.
If the Cyclops wants to teach me, tell him to come here himself.
Never mess with the Cyclops!
Never mess with the Cyclops. Oh, this is cool. I love it. It was easy. So you guys should definitely use these settings. Give it a try. You know, I know there's a bunch of you out there that have TCL R617. I think you guys should use these settings. Try them out. If you don't like them, don't use them. But I think it doesn't cost you anything to try these settings. Give it a try. And that's why I do these videos, so you guys can try them out and see if you like it or don't. You know, that's the whole point here. But look, it looks very impressive. It's very impressive. I like what I'm seeing here on the HDR. TCL R617 definitely shines here with this game because it has a really good HDR. If you have a really good source, in this case 4K with HDR, then this TV will look even better. But for $600, I've been testing a lot of stuff on this TV, and I'm really impressed. I have tested movies, 4K HDR movies, video games, a bunch of stuff I have tested on this TCL. People ask me, can you use it as a PC monitor? I mean, you can, but honestly, Samsung Q8FN is your best option for PC because it utilizes 120 Hertz refresh rate. But you can still use it as a PC. It's still going to look good. You know what I mean? So there you have it, guys. It looks great on TCL R617. Make sure you use these settings. Try them out, okay? Remember, the HDR sliders, the lumens light, you can go up to 1,000. Don't go to 1,500. Go stay around 900 to 1,000 on a lumens HDR slider. As far as the black digital levels brightness slider, I would move it down to 180 or 160. I think 160. It's good. Other than that, there you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. Let me say this one more time. TCL R617, it's really a great TV for its price. And you're not going to find anything better in terms of the features and Dolby Vision. This television, it's really a great deal, and what it offers in terms of build quality. It's not made cheap. It's made very robust and heavy. Even the feet they're supporting, it's metal. So they really thought about the bezels and everything. On top of the cosmetics, they also spend a lot of effort and time to give you the best possible picture they can for that type of cash. So NBP photon technology, full white color gamut, a very good DCI-P3 measurement, close to a 90%, and close to a 90. And then you have, of course, 840 nits, sometimes can go up to 850 depending on what content you're watching. That's pretty darn good for a 4K HDR television. That's budget. And of course 96 local dimming zones of full real local dimming. So all of these things, man, when you calculate all of this, when you implement all of this, that's where this television truly shines. Highly recommended. I mean, it's hard not to recommend. I mean, it's impossible for me to say I don't recommend it. Only an idiot or fool would say I don't recommend it. For $600, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. You simply cannot go wrong. Well, there you have it.